Okay, good morning students. Welcome back to the social study class. Today we are going to learn the chapter 3. The religious promoters and social reformers. In this chapter we are going to learn some important learning points. They are India's religious reformers and their philosophy and teachings. Then another important learning point is the life and teachings of Shankaracharya. Then another reformer is Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya and Basaveshwara. Then also discussed about the principles of Dvaita, Advaita and Vishishtadvaita. Okay, let us the period between 8th century and 13th century. Okay, let us once again. The period between 8th century and 13th century is very important in the social, cultural history of India. During the 8th century and the 13th century, there will be some important reformers we can see. Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya. Those are the founders of 3 Vedic religions were living in India in those days. Dvaita, Advaita and Vishishtadvaita. These 3 were the major philosophies came into existence during the 8th and 13th century. Okay. After that, the Basaveshwara. Already we have learned in previous classes. In the 12th century, we learned about the Basaveshwara. Basaveshwara of Kalyana declared social revolution against caste and gender-based discrimination. In order to achieve these ideal situations, the 3 Acharyas and Basaveshwara preached all the people to surrender to the God, irrespective of caste, creed and richness. They reviewed the society through the Bhakti Marga. Yes. Okay. Let us do one more reformer. I am going to say about him. Okay. Shankaracharya. In the previous class we studied about him. The Shankaracharya was born in the village Kaladi in Kerala, in a Nambudari Brahmin family. Okay, once again, where was Shankaracharya born? He was born in Kaladi. Where is the Kaladi? Yes, this was in Kerala. He belongs to the Nambudari Brahmin family. Yes. Okay, let us, who were his parents? His parents were Shivaguru and Mother Aryamba. Okay. In the beginning, while he was in the boyhood days, Shankaracharya, in the boyhood days, he was a very intelligent and he was a very brilliant personality. At the age of 7, he had mastered all the scriptures. And also he learned, when he was a boy, he learned Vedas like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and also Vedas he studied. And the Puranas from his teacher. In the previous class we studied about Vedas. There are 4 Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharvana Veda. All these Vedas he learned, and also he learned the Puranas. Where did he learn? Yes, he learned from his teacher. Okay, let us. Who was his teacher? His teacher was Govinda Bhagavat Pada. Yes. Who was the Shankaracharya's teacher? Govinda Bhagavat Pada. Very good. Shankaracharya studied the Upanishads and Brahma Sutras in depth and propagated the Advaita philosophy. Okay. Then the world is Maya. What did he preach? Okay. Let us. What did Shankaracharya preach? He preached the world is Maya, an illusion. Brahma is the absolute truth. See, according to the Shankaracharya, the whole world is Maya, an illusion. Brahma is the absolute truth. People are ignorant. They are not aware of the illusionary nature of the world. They are also not aware that Brahma is the only truth. Hence, we should go on the path of knowledge and realize the nature of the world. Ultimately, we should merge our Atma, our soul, with the absolute truth, Brahma. Yes, once again, we should go on the path of knowledge and realize the nature of the world. Ultimately, we should merge our Atma, or what we call soul, with the absolute truth, Brahma. And only then we can attain or we reach moksha or liberation. Yes, this was the Shankaracharya principle. In this manner, Shankaracharya taught about the path of knowledge. Path of knowledge. Yes. The human soul has no separate existence. According to him, the human soul has no separate existence, and he expressed the fact in the praise, Aham Brahmasmi. Yes, he expressed the fact of the life. That praise he used, Aham Brahmasmi. And also, he declared one thing, that was, he declared the Brahma is truth. Ultimately, the only Brahma is existence. He declared that the Brahma is only the truth in the world. It has no qualities, no features, and no shape, like Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikara. Brahma has Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikara, according to Shankaracharya. Yes, and also Shankara Bhashya, Ananda Lahari, Saundarya Lahari, Shivananda Lahari, Viveka Chudamani, Prabuddha Sudharaka, and Dakshinamurti Stotra were wrote by the Shankaracharya, and his hymen was Bhajagovindam, is the world famous today. Bhajagovindam, you studied, you listened in the various places and various areas. Bhajagovindam. This Bhajagovindam word is introduced by Shankaracharya. This was the Heman Bhajagovindam. Yes, Shankaracharya. He was traveled from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, not on any vehicle, on his own foot. Why? Why he traveled the whole India from Kanyakumari to Kashmir? Yes, for propagated his Advaita philosophy, in order to spread the message of his philosophy. So, and also he established institutions like what we call Pitas in all 4 directions of the India. Yes, Shankaracharya gave Indian thinking a new direction and inspiration. Okay, let us see where did he establish the Pitas or is Shankaracharya's institutions. Where did he establish? In India. Already we learned he established 4 institutions in 4 corners of our country. Okay. One is Badri, that is Jyotirpita, that is called Jyotirpita. The another institution is called Dwaraka, that is called Kalika Pita. The third is Puri, that is Govardhana Pita. The fourth one is in the South India, Sringeri, Sharada Pita. Okay. Then fifth one is Kanchi. That was Kamakoti Pita. That was called Kamakoti Pita. Like these 5 institutions he established. One is once again Badri. That is Jyotirpita. Jyotirpita in Badri. Okay. Kalika Pita in Dwaraka. Govardhana Pita in Puri, Sharada Pita in Sringeri, and Kamakoti Pita in Kanchi, in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Next, one more reformer we are going to learn about it. The Ramanujacharya. Yes. Who was the Ramanujacharya? Okay, let us learn who was Ramanujacharya and where he was born and who are his parents and what did he preach. Let us discuss now. Okay, Ramanujacharya was born in Sri Perambadur. This was near Chennai. Okay, so who were the parents of Ramanujacharya? Yes, Keshava Somayaji and Kantimati was his mother. Keshava Swamiji was his father and Kantimati was his mother. Okay, then he studied Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda and Samaveda and Upanishads also. Where did he study Vedas and Upanishads? He studied in Yadava Prakash in Kanchi. Yadava Prakash in Kanchi. It was the famous learning center in South India. Kanchi is in the ancient time. Kanchi was the famous learning center in the South India. Then he went to Srirangam and he became head of Mutt. Then the Chola ruler who was Shaivate started pasting Ramanujacharya. Yes, he was invited by Bitti Deva of the Vaisala king of Karnataka, and he was also invited by Vaisala king Bitti Deva of Karnataka. Then he said to the latter, Bitti Deva accepted Vaishnava tradition. Vaishnava traditioners are worshipped Vishnu. So this Bitti Deva accepted the Vaishnava tradition and became Vishnuvardhana. Bitti Deva became a Vishnuvardhana. Ramanuja went to Melkote. You were visited the Melkote in the last year of our school excursion. Melkote, and also he built Cheruvanarayana temple. So he went to Ramanujacharya, went to Melkote, and also he went to he built Cheruvanarayana temple. Yes. Then Ramanujacharya had keen interest to show the path of salvation to the common people. Yes. What was his philosophy called? What was the philosophy of Ramanujacharya? Yes, his philosophy is called Vishishtadvaita. According to this philosophy, what was his philosophy? Vishishtadvaita. What Vishishtadvaita said? This Vishishtadvaita said, Jiva, our life, and Prakruti, what we call nature. Jiva and Prakruti, our life and nature are under the control of Brahma. According to Ramanujacharya, the philosophy is life and nature are under the control of Brahma. Both Atma and Paramatma cannot become one simultaneously. See, Ramanujacharya preached both Atma and Paramatma. There will be here, you listen the two words, Atma and Paramatma. There were two words he introduced. Atma and Paramatma cannot become one simultaneously. He said that world is the expressed manifestation of Brahma and world is a reality. The world is a reality. He said that the world is the expressed manifestation of Brahma, and world is a reality. In order to achieve mukti, bhakti, and prapati, means complete surrender to the God. These are important. In order to achieve mukti, if you want mukti and prapati, you go through the philosophy of Ramanujacharya, that is Vishishtadvaita. Ramanujacharya criticized caste system in those days and preached his teachings to all. He taught them to stay away from desires and surrenders themselves to the will of God with complete devotion. Like this, he advocated Bhakti Patha of Moksha. What did he advocate? He advocated a Bhakti Patha of Moksha. Okay. Then studied many religious texts and also he wrote many books. Okay, let us, what were the books were written by the Ramanujacharya? One is Vedanta Sangraha, then second is Vedanta Sara, then Vedanta Deepik. Sara, Vedanta Deepik, Shri Bhashya were the Ramanujacharya's textbooks he was wrote. Once again, what did Ramanujacharya wrote about the religious? Yes, once again, number one, Vedanta Sangraha. The second one is Vedanta Sara. The third one is Vedanta Deepik. And then Shri Bhashya. He has given importance and promise to Bhakti Path. In his important book, Gita Bhashya. Yes, this was a very important book of Ramanujacharya, one more book of Ramanujacharya, which was Gita Bhashya. Yes. Saint Ramananda and Raidasa of North India were greatly influenced by Ramanujacharya's philosophy. Yes. Ramanujacharya, he was a great saint. So, Saint Ramananda and Raidasa of North India were greatly influenced by Ramanujacharya's philosophy. Similarly, the Aravidu and Tuluva dynasties of Vijayanagara kingdom were also the followers of the Ramanujacharya's philosophy. See how he was influenced to all other persons and many other kings like Vijayanagara kings, and then Ramananda, Raidasa, like then after Ramanujacharya, one more reformer was there to learn about him, and he was none other than Madhvacharya. Yes, Madhvacharya was born in Pajaka village near Udupi in Karnataka. Yes, once again, where was Madhvacharya born? He was born in Pajaka near Udupi. Where was Udupi? It was in Karnataka. Who were his parents? His father was Madhva Geha Bhatta. Then his mother was Vedavati. Yes, Madhvacharya's parents were Madhva Geha Bhatta and Vedavati. Okay. His family were devotees of Lord Vishnu. It is said that at a very tender age, he displayed abundant knowledge. In his tender age, means when he was in childhood, he had abundant knowledge. So he had his education. Afterwards, he had his education in Vedas and Upanishads from Achyuta Preksha. The same teacher later inducted Madhvacharya into sannyasa afterwards. Madhvacharya, his guru was Achyuta Preksha. Even the same teacher later inducted Madhvacharya into sannyasa. While studying under his guru Achyuta Preksha, Madhvacharya independently gained great knowledge about the religious scriptures and defeated his guru in a debate. And also he advocated Dvaita philosophy. Yes, Dvaita means two. According to this Dvaita philosophy, the human soul and divine soul are separate. Yes. Understood? The human soul and the divine soul are separate according to the Dvaita philosophy. According to Madhvacharya, the world is not Maya. The world is not Maya or illusion. between these, the divine soul is independent, and the rest of the world is illusionary. The divine soul and the human soul, in between these two, one side the divine soul, the another side is human soul. In between these souls have a Lord. Both are having a Lord, and the relationship like a servant relationship, Lord and servant relationship. The divine soul and the human soul, the what type of relationship in between the divine soul and the human soul? Yes, between these two, the relationship like a Lord and Lord and servant. Here, who is the Lord and who is a servant? According to Madhvacharya, the divine soul is the Lord and the human soul is the servant. In between these, the relationship between like a Lord and servant. Lord Vishnu. So according to Madhvacharya, who is a Guru, who is a God? Lord Vishnu or Narayana is a God. He is the only supreme in the world. Worship of Lord Vishnu can elevate the human soul and thus enable it to attain moksha. In order to propagate his philosophy, Madhvacharya took to pilgrimage to various places and participate in various debates, and also he brought Lord Krishna's idol, which was hidden in a muddy hillock, that is called Gopi Chandana, and also he took it installed in Udupi. Further, to enable regular worship of Lord Krishna, he established 8 mutts called Ashtamas, like Pejavaramata, like Udupi. Ashtamas are made by Madhvacharya, established by Madhvacharya. Okay. Then, what were all the works of Madhvacharya? Let us learn. One is Gita Bhashya. Okay, note down. One is Gita Bhashya. Gita Tatparya Nirnaya. Second one is Gita Tatparya Nirnaya. Then Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya. Vishnu Tatparya Nirnaya. Bhagavad Pada Tatparya Nirnaya. Mahakandhana, etc. and many other works are by Madhvacharya, written by Madhvacharya. Later, the philosophy of Madhvacharya was popularized by Padmanabha Tirtha, then Narahari Tirtha, and Vijayendra Tirtha, and Vadiraja Tirtha, and many other descendants of him continue and spread his philosophy all over the world. Okay, after that, one of the other person, the same type of personality we found in the 12th century is none other than Basaveshwara. Basaveshwara is the most prominent social reformer of medieval Karnataka during the 12th century. Basaveshwara and his disciples advocated Veerashaiva philosophy, which was based on simple human values. Any human can easily follow the philosophy of Veerashaiva. So those type of philosophy can advocated by the Basaveshwara. They rejected the numerous rituals like caste rituals, even the Vedic, deeply rooted in the Vedic religion rituals. And also Basaveshwara. Who is Basaveshwara? Who are his parents? And where did he born? Let us see. Basaveshwara was son of Madarasa and Madalambike, and he was born in Bagewadi. It is in Vijaypura district. He was a strong opponent of caste system, and he threw away the sacred thread after his Upanayana. And after that, after he gave away of his sacred thread, where did he go? He went to Udala Sangama. He took Linga Diksha from Shaiva Guru. Shaivas are worshipped Shiva are called Shaivas. Yes, he took Linga Diksha from Shaiva Guru and started practicing meditation. Basaveshwara became the treasury head of Kalachuri Bijjala, the king of Bijjala, Kalachuri dynasty. Bijjala, the name of the king was Bijjala. He remained unmoved by money, status and power. So, also he dedicated himself to the removal of social evils from the society during the 12th century. He remained committed to the revival of social centric religion. Basavanna, all of us know about him. There are moreover other reformers. He started this socio-religious movement from Mangala Kheda. He was started the first socio-religious movement in Mangala Kheda. Then Shiva Sharana should never discriminate anyone. According to Basaveshwara, any Shiva Sharana, one who is took Linga Diksha was called Shiva Sharana. That Shiva Sharana should never discriminate anyone on the basis of caste. And he also said that purity of Atma is the only way to attain moksha or salvation or a mukti. He advocated also self-reliance, and also he insisted one should earn one's living. What we call Kayakave Kailasa. He also declared no profession is more important or less important. According to him, no profession is more important or less important. Everything is same. The one who is the king of the empire, his work is also same. The one who is the farmer in the field, his work is also same. There is no discrimination. That is the philosophy of Basaveshwara. He nurtured the culture of work is worship. Whatever work is that, through his physical labor philosophy, by declaring body as a temple. You listen in many vachanas of Basavanna, Dehave Devula, Shirahonna Kalasavaya. You listen to many vachanas, body as the temple. Basaveshwara tried to implement work is worship philosophy in his life. These thinkings are still the guiding lights of the present society. Basavanna started a Sharana spiritual center called Anubhava Mantapa. He started a Anubhava Mantapa, 5 institutions in through around the 4 corners of India. Like Basaveshwara also started a spiritual center that is called Anubhava Mantapa at Basava Kalyana. Even Madhvacharya also started his spiritual center in Udupi. Like Basaveshwara also started Anubhava Mantapa at Basava Kalyana in the present Bidar. Here all Sharanas, including Basaveshwara and others, engaged in meaningful discussions on various socio-cultural issues like gender, discrimination and caste system. Yes. Similarly, they were also discussing the shortcomings of religions, like backward religions in those days during the 12th and 13th century, and were also he was suggesting remedies for these issues. Then spiritual discussions were also held regularly, and they were also insisting that one should remain transparent in his life. Yes, we should not think in the inner heart and outer heart. We should not discriminate outer heart and inner heart. So Basavanna said to remain the transparent in his life. His external behavior and internal behavior are always same. Should remain also clean. So this transparent state of the life of everyone, that is the ultimate truth according to the Basavanna. All these thoughts gained poetic expressions in their vachanas. Vachanas are very melodious songs, and also these vachanas are very simple poetic compositions. For example, even those vachanas were written by Basavanna were all in simple Kannada. In common people can easily understand the vachanas of Basavanna. Like Basavannane Tambe, Basavannane Tai, Basavannane Parama Bandhu Yenage, Basavannane Parama Bandhu Yenage. Always we praise Basavanna because of his philosophy and because of his work during 12th century. ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಲಿ ನಂಬ ದೇಹವೇ ದೇಗುಲ ಶಿರ ಹೊನ್ನ ಕಳಸಬಯ್ಯ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ಕೇಳಯ್ಯ ಸ್ಥಾವರಕ್ಕಳಿ ಉಂಟು ಜಂಗಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗಿಲ್ಲ. These are the words of Basavanna. These are called vachanas. Yes, Modigeya Maraya, Ambigara Choraya, these are all vachanakaras in those times. Even the common people can understand simple Kannada, and also he created a social movement. This Basavanna's social movement remained pro-people movement due to its simple Kannada. Always we say in front of our students, even the previous classes, in all regular classes, many vachanas we send also, like Kalabeda, Sudabeda, Usiyan Beda, Muniya Beda, Anyari, Asaya Beda, Tanna Bandisa Beda, Idira Hadiyalu Beda, Ide Hantaranga Shuddhi, Ide Bahiranga Shuddhi, Ide Nama Kudala Sangama Nolisuva Pari. See how Basavanna's vachanas are very simple to understand. And then one more vachana of ಬಸವಣ್ಣ ಬೆಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಚಳಿಯಾದಡೆ ಏನು ಹೊದಿಸುವರಯ್ಯ, ಬಯಲು ಬತ್ತಲೆಯಾದಡೆ ಏನ ನುಡಿಸುವರಯ್ಯ, ಭಕ್ತನುಭವಿಯಾದಡೆ ಏನನ್ನು ಉಪಮಿಸುವೆನಯ್ಯ ಗುಹೇಶ್ವರ ಗುಹೇಶ್ವರ. Yes, the Allama Prabhu was written this vachana. Like many vachanakaras are came during the 12th and 13th century. All humans are equal according to Basavanna. All humans are equal. No one is small. No one is big. According to Basavanna, no one is untouchable. That is very important. Understand, my dear students. No one is untouchable by birth. Only the profane thoughts and behavior makes one man untouchable. Declared the vachanas. Through vachanas and the vachanakaras try to identify the problems inherent in the society of their times. So the people from all walks of life look part of the vachana movement. So many vachanakaras in those days we studied, like Allama Prabhu, Akka Mahadevi, Siddharama, Modigeya Maraya, Ambigara Chaudaya, Madiwada Machaya, Madar Chennaya, Haradaya, Kinnari Mummaya, and many others were the important vachanakaras during the 13th century. Many vachanakaras along with Basaveshwara who had kept information of equal society as their goal have enriched and contributed a lot of to the society and to the culture and to the literature. Yes, the many vachanakaras were also contribute to the society in the field of culture, in the field of education, also in the field of literature also. These vachanas are very easy to understand for everyone because it is very easy because these are in very simple Kannada they use. Yes, all these vachanakaras and many reformers we have learnt in this lesson, like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya. See, Advaita, Dvaita, Visishtadvaita. Yes, Basaveshwara's philosophy is Shakti Visishtadvaita. Yes, all these are very important for the lesson, today's lesson. Please kindly note all the things. Then thank you and thank you one and all, please.